Welcome to Keeping It 100 Coalition Conversations, the official podcast for the National Coalition of 100 Black Women Metropolitan Baton Rouge Chapter. I'm your host, Shanice Lewis, and today we are shining a spotlight on the Economic Empowerment Committee and the amazing work they're doing. Our guests will share more about the upcoming programs and initiatives. Plus, we're going to get the inside scoop about the 2024 Pay Equity Summit. Let's welcome our guests this evening. Our first guest is Dannielle Lewis. Dannielle is a serial entrepreneur who started her business owning journey while attending Southern University A&M College, where she majored in business management with a minor in marketing entrepreneurship. Her 20-year entrepreneur journey has allowed her the career advancing opportunities to be a nonprofit organization strategy consultant, chairperson for the Economic Empowerment Committee for the Metropolitan Baton Rouge chapter, and a highly sought after entrepreneur content speaker. Dannielle serves as the Chief Operating Officer for Closing the Gap Consulting LLC, where she orchestrates and streamlines processes for companies' growth and management practices. Prior to working with Closing the Gap Consulting, she worked as a commercial insurance and business formation specialist, where she assisted new business owners with the knowledge needed to build a strong foundation and legitimate business. Dannielle has successfully published 4 entrepreneur-focused books, 3 entrepreneur courses, and several content workshops that give new and seasoned business owners the knowledge, strategies, tactics, and resources they need to take their business to the next level. Her dedication to assisting the community close the financial wage gap has been the essential motivation for her career path thus far and will continue to motivate her for years to come. Welcome, Dannielle. And
Thank you for
also
having me.
joining us today is Denage Piper. Denage Piper is a commercial relationship manager for Citizen Bank and Trust for 20 years of business and consumer banking experience. She has dedicated herself to the vital role of informing and implementing financial literacy and progression. She is the graduate of Southern University A&M College, and she is the first vice president of programs for the Metropolitan Baton Rouge chapter, and she serves on Friends of LPB board as well as other boards and advocacy positions. As a champion of integrity and hard work, she aspires to instill an authentic sense of pride and nobility within the culture. Her purpose encompasses the core values of community, humility, and awareness, in which will instill a lifelong legacy that will exceed expectations and significantly sustain. Fueled by a passion for excellence and she adamantly strives to curate the highest version of herself, which in return will empower generations to follow. Let's welcome our first VP of programs, Denage Piper. Woo-hoo-hoo.
Thank you.
I had to put some stank on y'all bios.
You need to put the in front of Southern University. The.
Okay.
Yes, the.
I didn't have it written like that.
We're gonna write it like that next time.
So, welcome to the show. The Economic Empowerment Committee has so many amazing things coming up. But first, we want to start off with what the national initiatives are. So tell us about the National Coalition of 100 Black Women's Initiatives for Economic Empowerment.
Oh, definitely. So the National Coalition of 100 Black Women Incorporated economic empowerment initiatives, we always focus on increasing the wisdom, authority, and the capacity of Black women to create and sustain viable lifestyles. That's including stability in housing, employment, and entrepreneurship. In order to enjoy a higher quality of life, we always want that, and to create wealth for our future generations to come.
And so, specific to the Baton Rouge community, what is our focus and key issues here?
So within our chapters committee, we like to focus on breaking down those barriers that have historically stopped us from being able to seek financial resources, opportunities, and have tried to stop us from becoming those decision makers in the rooms where, the true wealth is being spoken about. So as I always tell my committee members, we are not just trying to break down those barriers, but we are trying to knock them down completely. Our goal is to not only get out in the community and talk about it, but we want to be about it. We want to make sure that they understand that we don't just want to sit at the table. If we can get the resources, we can get the opportunities, we can become the decision makers, then we can put those policies in place so that we don't have to worry about those things ever happening to us again. So we want to be able to make sure that we are also understanding that we play a unique role in this society and that we should be paid well for doing those things.
Absolutely. And so tell us about some of the specific programs that the Economic Empowerment Committee has coming up or has done this year.
Well, if you were on our social media, you saw that we did the Buy Back the Block. Excellent program. I think we sold out that program. We were talking about how we can go in and really go in and purchase and invest in our own community real estate to go ahead and further our initiatives with housing. So as you know, within the Economic Empowerment Committee, it's our focus to look in housing and figure out how we can build future generations up through real estate, right? So housing, we've done the home ownership with the 100, but the buy back the block this time was a totally different way of us looking at it. We wanted to not just talk about buying that first property. We wanted to talk about buying up everything on the corner, because I talked about when we first went in and we were explaining about why we thought this was so important. I don't know if you all have heard about the young guy that went in and tried to purchase property in the Asian environment. He was in the neighborhood and he was being discriminated against. And a judge actually told him it was okay for them to discriminate against him. So our goal is to not necessarily just tell us, hey, you can't purchase in their neighborhood. We can go ahead and not just purchase in their neighborhood, but we can buy up our own block again instead of allowing someone else to come in and purchase our block. We can do it ourselves. And so we've also focused on entrepreneurship. We've had events where we talked about getting certified to do government contracts, state contracts, local contracts, getting women-owned certified, getting DBE certified. We've talked with CPA panels where it focuses on getting your money. We are getting ready to have that one after our next large event. And so our goal is to really show sisters how to get to the bag, keep the bag, and continuously keep the bag coming back.
Absolutely. And then you have a panel coming up, a CPA panel coming up.
Yes, so we're going to partner with Southern University to do a CPA panel. Our goal is always to show the community that there are people that look like us that do business in those areas. And so we are going to partner up with Southern University to show them that there are African Americans that are CPAs. A lot of the times we don't know what we don't know. And so by partnering with these types of organizations, we can show the community with initiatives like, connecting with what we have, that there are individuals that look like us that do the types of things that we need for our businesses and individually.
Now, tell me specifically about Sisternomics, because sometimes that gets confusing, like that's the name of the committee, because we use the word Sisternomics or not, but actually it's just one initiative. So explain to me more about what does Sisternomics mean?
Sisternomics is a programming initiative of the National Coalition of 100 Black Women. It is a philosophical mindset to consider ourselves first in all economic decisions. We consider Sisternomics our path to economic empowerment, right? And it's all of these building blocks that we've talked about: the buy back the block, the entrepreneurship, the CPA fireside chat with the Southern University Ag Center procurement conference. So I think with this session, what we'll learn tonight and at the event is we're going to build upon each session to hopefully close that wage gap, right? Because there is this disparity here in the Black community, specifically Black women. So if we consider ourselves first, we put in, if you're on an airplane and they say, you got to save yourself first. So that's what we want to encourage the Black woman to do. And it's something that we oftentimes overlook because we're always trying to help others, right? In this session, we're saying, save yourself first.
Yeah, I like that. And why is it so important to advocate for economic empowerment in the Black community?
Okay, so it's important because it is the key to building generational wealth. Economic empowerment solves the disparities we see in education, we see in home ownership, we see in unemployment, access to child care, as well as access to adequate health care. So it is just a broad paintbrush, right? When we talk about economic empowerment, because we're always hearing these stories about how can you build generational wealth? Because we should be saving for our children's children. So if we're doing that, then we are buying back that block. We are investing in investment properties, be it 1 to 4 family or commercial real estate. We are placing our funds into our 401k, so we're strengthening and saving for tuition for our children. So if they choose to go to a great HBCU or any, college or university in the country or outside of the country, they have the means to do so, right? Because we have, as parents, as aunts and uncles, saved and afforded them the opportunity to do that through economic empowerment.
Now, I have a question. What if somebody is listening and just not familiar with the concept of generational wealth? Some people think when my child turns 18, I done did my job and they own their own and I got to live my life. Why is it bad to think that way and not a generational wealth way?
So I'll let Dannielle answer that first, right? Because she's a mother, and then I'm gonna give you the non-mother answer. So go ahead, Dannielle.
So I'm gonna say this. I understand where they're coming from because you have to look at, we have been conditioned to believe that that's how it's supposed to be. You've done your job, right? You have taken care of them. You have done what the state has told you to do. It is now time for them to be on their own. But if we look at our counterparts, the people that do not look like us, they give their children time to figure out life. And when they allow them to figure out life, and when they allow them to understand that, the real world is coming, and they build things for them and put things in place for them, when the real world starts knocking at their door, it's not going to be as hard for them to be able to step through that door. They won't have as hard of a time crossing over that threshold. And so my husband and I, we talk about this all the time. If our children, we want this massive piece of land, most kids want to go ahead and talk. Most parents want to talk about downsizing after all of their kids leave out of the house. We don't want to do that because our goal is to say, let's say our oldest is now at Southern, right? If she decides that she needs to come back home until she gets on her feet and have her job, we want to be her saving grace. We don't want to have her to go and try and have as many loans out there so that she can't build the life that she wants to build. So it's not just about building generational wealth as far as getting them real estate, because a lot of the times we are first generations and we don't really know how to truly build that generational wealth. But generational wealth starts here. And so if you just really focus on how can you make it easier for your next generations to follow, then that's building generational wealth. It's not all about the money. And I know a lot of people say, okay, well, let's build life insurance policies. Let's put this and this and stuff in place. But it's really about a mindset. Generational wealth is really and truly a mindset. It's not necessarily all about monetary value. But when you can truly and honestly say, I am making it easier for the generations to follow behind me, that's building generational wealth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. It's definitely a mind shift, especially in the Black community. Because, like you said, we've been kind of conditioned to this. Oh, you're 18, you're out the house, or you're on your own. And a lot of times it's been you're on your own because the parents didn't have the means to support you past 18, right? Mm-hmm. So, or you had to come, you as a child, and now you're a young adult or an adult, you want to call them an adult. They're helping their parents with, a financial situation that they have going on. So if we can break that curse, right, where we as parents and aunts and uncles and people within the Black community start shifting the mindset of, okay, this child might not be ready to be pushed out into the real world. Am I able to support them while they figure this out, right? And a lot of people don't want to talk about their child not ready for the real world, So we got to be real with where our children are in the space that we're living in. Can they handle it? So we have to shift the mindset.
And then some kids, you said, are they ready for the real world? You could have a child that's disabled, or you could have a child that, is not able to survive on their own. You might be taking care of somebody for the rest of their life. You never know.
You never know.
So we have a big event coming up Saturday. It is the 2024 Pay Equity Summit, and actually it's the inaugural Pay Equity Summit. So we are really excited about this, and we want to break down each session. But first, Dannielle, tell me the vision you had for this, because I know you had been working on this for a while.
Yes, so this has been, it's been a year in the making, and it started out super small. This was not supposed to grow as big as it did, but it did. And I'm so excited that it did, because it showed me that this is something that Baton Rouge needed. When the idea came, we just wanted to kind of shine light on the fact that sisters needed to understand that we are not being paid what we are worth. And not only that, but we needed to understand how to get to it. Because one of the things is I'm a full entrepreneur, but I do know that there are sisters that are in corporate America, are trying to get into corporate America, that don't know how to speak in order to get the pay. They have the skills, they have the knowledge, they have all of the degrees, the designations, but they don't know how to speak up to get to, what they need to be able to be paid. And so many times we are afraid, we don't have the confidence to get to it. And it's not that we don't look the part, it's the fact that we don't know what to say when we are in front of those individuals to tell them what and how we want to be paid. And so that was the idea for us to come in. So like I said, it was going to be a webinar. This was not going to be as big as it was. But Domino's, one of our sponsors, and we'll talk about our sponsors a little later, but Domino's gave us $5,000 to start this off. And so from there, we decided, you know what? This is time to now bring it into the community, allow to shine the light on how we need this disparity to be able to be knocked down, and what we can do as this organization to be the igniter of this change. I always say my goal is to be the change that I want to see. And so this event is showing me what I need to do in order to get into the community and advocate on behalf of my sisters. So I am excited that this event is on the 6th. It is the weekend before Pay Equity Day, which is April 9th. That is the reason, that's the significance behind April 6th. So we want to give you the information that you need so that you can be able to talk about this day on April 9th. And we're going to have some sessions that are going to build upon themselves, and we'll talk about the sessions. but the entire event is going to build upon itself. You are going to walk into this building knowing how to go into the networking set, how to be able to talk about what you want, how to be able to leave out of that boardroom knowing that you are a leader, how to be able to advocate with legislation, and being able to know that you are ready to retire and you're going to retire with the bag. So we are ready. We are excited.
So the day consists of multiple panel discussions with various topics, and we're going to go through each one by one. So the first panel of the day is a networking interview and resume panel. Now tell us more about this panel.
So this panel is being presented by Business Bestie Brunch. They host a brunch for business owners once a quarter. If I'm not mistaken, is it April 9th?
April 28th is their next event.
Their next event. So they have their next event is April 29th. So Business Bestie Brunch is hosting this event. The panel moderator is the Kenya Douglas. I think it's going to be great. So in our research, we found that equal pay for women does not begin at just requesting a larger salary or better benefits, right? It oftentimes begins in these networking spaces, where in the networking space, you can find your name in a room that you're not in because of someone you met networking, right? And oftentimes I find that we're shy and we don't work the room well. We don't meet anybody at these networking events, right? We go grab a cocktail and maybe sometimes hide in the corner. So we want to get the shyness out of us women who, not me, but some. I'm not scared to work a room, but I found that there are some that are a little shy to work that room because it's hard. It's scary. You got to meet new people. You got to shake some hands and talk about yourself. And that is something that we don't do that well, is talk about our accomplishments. We find ourselves, it's a little embarrassing to talk about yourself, right? But in some settings, you need to be confident enough to be able to share your past experiences so your future experiences could be bright. So it's really important that we nail the networking, the interview, and resume panel, because it is going to set the tone for the rest of the day. So as far as the interview goes, you just think, oh, I'm going to show up to an interview. Now, I don't want to give away the cow here, but you just don't just show up to an interview without doing some research and preparing yourselves for those questions. And I hope and I believe that this panel is going to shed light on all of those topics that I just discussed.
Well, that's a good start to the day, because that's like somebody that's a beginner that doesn't have much experience, or somebody want to go into a different field, redirect their career. So that's an amazing start to the day. And then we go into session 2. This is job readiness and leadership panel. Now tell us about session 2.
Yes. So as I said before, each panel is building upon the next. So you've just finished networking. You just finished interviewing. You have the confidence, right? You're ready to go on the job, and you're ready to not only take the position, but you are also ready to become a leader. And we want to shine light on not just being a leader within a corporate setting or within a job setting, but we also want to shed light on becoming a leader within an organization, because guess what? Being a leader is work. And so you have to learn how to become a leader. And so I believe that this panel is going to shine light upon how you actually prepare yourself when you're ready to go on get in that position and go ahead and start becoming that leader. And the moderator for this panel is none other than our coalition sister, Sister Angie Turner. She's coming from her nonprofit organization. And what she wants to do is shine light on how you can be a better leader within your organization, within your corporate setting, and how you prepare yourself mentally to start taking over that position that you are getting ready to get better pay in.
And then in between the panels, we have just breaking news today, intermissions. So after this, we got just added an intermission. Tell us about this new speaker that's just been added to the event.
So Miss Caitlin Joshua, she reached out after seeing how we were doing things, and she wanted to be a part. And she is actually the chairperson of the Pay Equity Committee for East Baton Rouge Parish. And she told us there are so many statistics that they have compiled for our parish. And we want to hear all of those statistics. We weren't able to get all of the research from her. So I invited her to come on in and share this information with the auditorium and everyone that's going to be there, because this is going to hit home. It's going to show us exactly what's going on within our community so that we can affect the change and we can know exactly where we can go in and become great advocates.
Well, that's amazing that it's such a highly anticipating event. People are reaching out to us to support and get involved. So that just shows just what amazing work you're doing with putting things like this together. And so we're going to go into the next panel, which is session 3. Tell us about session 3.
So session 3 is being presented by none other than the Baton Rouge Delta alumni chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. And our panel moderator is Keishla B. Jackson. And we have some heavy hitters on this panel discussing salary negotiations. There is something that I want to point out. Despite the passage of the Equal Pay Act of 1963, 5 decades ago, which requires that men and women in the same workplace be given equal pay for work, the Census Bureau data shows that Black women working full-time year-round are paid 63 cents for every dollar paid to white, non-Hispanic men. Black women's median earnings are less than men's at every level of academic achievement. We want the audience to note that negotiation of the salary, like I said earlier, is not the only thing negotiated when employment is accepted. Things like paid family and medical leave, paid sick leave, paid time off, and insurance benefits are negotiated at the salary negotiation table, right? You're like, okay, wait, y'all only have 2 weeks of vacation, but I need 3. This is what this session is going to be about. And I like my stats, so I got one more. Here's another stat. 80% of Black mothers are key breadwinners or co-breadwinners for their families. But Black mothers working full-time are paid only 52% as much as the fathers. Lost wages mean Black women have less money to support themselves and their families, save and invest for the future. So that means that we are behind the bar when it comes down to building generational wealth, right? Because we are receiving less money. So that's something to just chew on when you get ready for this salary negotiation panel, which I think the ladies on the panel will deliver an exceptional presentation as it relates to the topic.
Yes, and you can't be scared when you're negotiating for yourself.
And you know what? It is scary, right? Like, oh, what if they say no to what I'm asking, right? They got a counter, So I think what we'll learn is what that counter could look like.
That's amazing. And so we're going into the next panel. This is a highly anticipated panel, the legislation panel. Now tell us about this one, session 4.
This panel is coming in hot. We know this one is coming in hot. This is the one that everybody has been sharing, is so ready, so eager. The moderator for this panel is Sister Nina Hunter. She's a part of our our public policy committee here in the NCBW MBR. However, our panelists are none other than the Mayor President Sharon Weston Broome. We have House Representative Vanessa LaFleur. We have House Representative C. Denise Marcel. This one is where we are going to talk about all of the things, all of the policies that are in place that have been stopping us, all the things that we can do, who we can write, who we can talk to, what we can do as a people, as a sisterhood, to go in and talk to those individuals that are stopping us from being who we are supposed to be when it comes to our bank accounts growing. And so I am excited about this panel. These individuals did not hesitate to be on this panel. And so I am forever grateful that they decided that they would come and share their expertise with us. And we would definitely love for them to be able to tell us what we can do, how we can actually go in, if we can walk in and talk to whomever, who we can call. And we have some questions that we are going to get down to the nitty-gritty of what the legislation plans on doing in order to change things for us with pay equity.
And so after this, another speaker was added to the lineup today. So this is hot off the press. We have Senator Regina Barrow will be joining us. Tell us about her segment.
Yes, so she's going to come in after the legislation panel. She's going to come in with some more legislation information. However, she's going to come from the senator perspective. So as you saw, we had the mayor president on the local level, we had the House representatives, and then we have a senator. So if you've noticed, as I said before, everything is building upon itself. Everything in this entire summit is going to build upon itself. And that's not just stopping with the sessions. It's including all of the legislation. So we are trying to get to the top. If I had the ability to contact the president or the vice president, we would have done that and had them here as well.
And then the final panel of the day, session 5. Tell us about that.
So session 5 is being presented by AARP. And I know everyone is wondering, what does AARP have to do with pay equity? And when myself and our President Hunt we were at a table with Lori, and Lori says, I would like to be a part of the Pay Equity Summit. And I said, Lori, I said, Lori, what does AARP have to do with pay equity? And when she broke it down to the fact that our retirement is hinged upon the salary that we retire at, I said, well, you know what? That makes sense. So if we are retiring at less than what we are worth, then if we are working for less than what we're worth, then we're retiring at less than what we're worth. And so that is fewer dollars for us to have a peaceful and happy and vacation-full retirement, right? Or to help support these family members who may be our children, our grandchildren, or whomever, you see these grandmothers still supporting their families, right? So this is something that I think is truly important to our end game. How we retire comfortably is based upon where we are currently in the workforce. And AARP is going to talk about that. So this session is not just for those who are in retirement. It is for those who seek to retire, right? So at some point, I'm seeking to retire. I know Dannielle probably is. You are too, Shanice. We can't work forever, right? We can volunteer, maybe. We continue to volunteer for the 100, but we don't want to work forever. So we want to retire at the highest optimal dollar that we could be retiring at.
So this panel is sponsored by AARP. So is this panel geared towards senior citizens?
No. Everybody is welcome. If you are in the workforce, you need to be at this panel session, because at some point you will be seeking to retire. So unless you want to work forever, I want to retire. So if you are 19 and you are in the workforce, you should be at this session, because there's something that you will be learning from AARP's panel on this day as it relates to where you are going to end up in retirement. And we want our sisters and the people listening to retire at the highest optimal dollar.
Well, this was an impressive lineup of events. And not to mention, this is a free event. So it's no excuse not to get this knowledge. Now, for it to be free, tell us about some of the sponsors that helped to make this event possible.
So I'm excited about Lamar Advertising. I don't know if y'all saw the billboard, but Lamar Advertising, our good sister Shanice, who's here on this call, negotiated. See, we negotiating this sponsorship with Lamar, and I'm excited about it. I think some sisters have seen it, seen the billboard. They are out and ready. I want to go take a picture of it. But so Lamar Advertising, AARP, and I'll let Dannielle talk about the Dominoes and the others.
So we received $5,000 from Domino's to put on the Pay Equity Summit. We also, Little Delightful Events is going to be sponsoring our stage presence. So they are setting up all of our decorations. It's going to be gorgeous, as well as tailor-made creative memories. So we are going to have a virtual photo booth where you can sit in your seat, hit on a link, and you can take a picture with a background for the Pay Equity Summit. There is no reason for you not to capture a memory at this event. So I am excited about everyone that wanted to pull together for this event. Our sponsors have been awesome. AARP came in, did not hesitate to sign on a dotted line to say, hey, let's support this event. We know how important this is. And everyone has been so warm and welcoming. We have people that have been calling nonstop, talking about what's going on next year. So,
and I did want to bring that up. Is it too late to sponsor or participate in this year's event? And if so, how do you get in touch for 2025?
So it is too late for this year because it is Saturday, but it is Saturday. But we can definitely look forward to you all being a part of this event from here on out. So 2025, you can definitely email us at sisternomics@ncbwmetrobr.org. sisternomics@ncbwmetrobr.org. We want as many community organizations to be a part of this. We've seen the outpouring warmth for this event. We know Baton Rouge needs it. We know how much the community needs it, and we are welcoming anyone, any organization, come on and be a part of this event.
Now, what advice would you give to the average everyday person that wants to improve their situation with money?
Well, I would probably say they should start with a budget first. And secondly, come to the event.
Yes.
The amount of information that's going to be shared, we can't share that here tonight. But I would say come to the event. Start with the budget, follow your budget, and stick to the plan. A lot of times we say, oh, I want to do this, but what is your plan? What is the granular approach to your goal? How are you going to get there, right? And a budget is a great way to begin that approach to the goal, because the budget is going to break down what you plan to spend and what you have coming in. And you don't want to be spending more than what you got coming in.
Now, Denage, what if right now in your checking account you got $350? Is this the event for you?
If you got $0, you need to be at this event. If you have $100,000, you need to be at this event. Whatever your financial status is, it should not deter you from having your cheeks in the seat at our Pay Equity event, right? Because we are not limiting ourselves to a particular income bracket, right? Everyone is welcome here because there is something for everyone. Either you are great at networking and you're not that good at at the interview, or you're not that great at salary negotiation, or you might be great at salary negotiation, but you haven't gotten the job you're looking for, right? So there is some component of the day that is going to speak to your need.
And let me just ask you another question, because there are people watching. Sometimes they not imitated. What's the word I'm thinking of? Scared, but another word I was thinking of. I'm drawing a blank. But is this event for maybe if you dropped out of high school and you maybe on welfare and you want to create a better life for your child? Would this event help you?
Yes.
Certainly. Go
Yes.
ahead, Dannielle.
So here's the thing: the way you network determines your net worth. You don't have to have the college degree. You don't have to have the PhD. You don't even have to have the high school diploma to be a millionaire. So the way that you learn how to network, that's how you can get the status that you need. So if you come to this event and you meet someone that can put you in front of someone that can put you where you want to be, that's how you're going to get to where you want to be. So our goal is not to deter anyone from excelling. You need to be at this event. And maybe if you decide in the back of your head, you want to get that degree or you want to get your high school diploma, maybe this event is the motivation that you need to get yourself back in that seat to get that degree or to get that diploma. So come on out. Make sure you get on over there. There are hands to shake, babies to kiss, all of that good stuff. Come on over to this event.
And the word I was thinking of was intimidated. Don't be intimidated by the lineup and the women. We are trying to empower the community. Yes. So that means everybody in the community, no matter what your situation is, we can all use a little bit more money. So what about men? Can men come too?
Anybody can come.
Anybody.
If you have a job, you can come. I believe that while the message is geared towards women, right? We're not gonna turn a man away that wants to come and figure out how to better his family, right? So if you are a male and you want to better your family and increase the monies that you are receiving, because you may be intimidated and don't know how to network and struggling in some of these areas of these panel discussions that we're offering, come on down, baby. We're not gonna turn you away. No usher at the door is gonna say we are not accepting me. So they can come on and have a seat next to their wife, girlfriend, mother, somebody. Just come on in.
So today starts your press run for the Pay Equity Summit, because we are really pushing this event because this is so important for our community. So let us know where else we can see you this week being interviewed.
All right. So go ahead.
We are going to be on the news. We are going to be on the news on April 4th. We are what station, you guys?
WAFB.
WAFB. Now I'm gonna say this, and this. Everything is on my calendar. I am a calendar person, so I know I'm gonna be there. So you just have to tell me what stations right now, but it's on my calendar. But yes, we have the news stations on the 4th and the 5th, because we are going to be pushing this, and we are pushing it hard because we want to fill this auditorium because this is so important. So go ahead, Madam First VP, with the actual stations.
Okay, the actual stations is WAFB April 4th at 9 a.m. and Fox 44 April 5th at 8:45.
And I want to reiterate that this is a free event. All you have to do is register, and the link is on the screen, and somebody watching can post it in the comments on our Facebook. This is a free event. All you have to do is register. I would suggest you register today because we're about to go on the news. We have the billboards out. This is guaranteed to be full capacity probably before Saturday, because this lineup is amazing and it is free. Free. That's the price everybody loves. Free.
Yeah,
So
it
make
is definitely, the capacity is going to grow, because I recall in the beginning we had to add seats. We had to add seats because they were going so fast. So we know for a fact, once this goes on the news, that's it, and we can't go any further because we're in an enclosed space. So if it's sold out, then it's sold out. But we'll see you next year, and hopefully within that time frame you're able to get where you want to be. But definitely, if you have the chance right now, go ahead and sign up and get your ticket, because this is an event you do not want to miss. You don't want to be the one that says, you know what, I couldn't get that extra money on my paycheck, or I couldn't get that extra money on my contract, because it's not just for people who get paychecks every 2 weeks. This is for people who learn how to get wages for themselves as well, because you have to negotiate your pay as well when you are an entrepreneur. So you don't want to be the person who can't get the extra money just because you don't know how to negotiate. So get your ticket and make sure that you're there.
And it's a great opportunity to practice too. You know,
Yes.
there's going to be an opportunity in between sessions to kind of put what you're learning to work, especially with networking.
This is super exciting, our inaugural one, and it's going to be setting it off for years to come as one of our signature events. Any final words before we go? Who the event for? Why you should be there? Let's close it off with a bang.
It's for everybody. Be there.
I would say don't let you stop you from being great, right? Because a lot of times it's in our own head that we shouldn't be in that room. They're too smart for me. I'm not smart enough. I don't have the money to be in that room, right? This is not that type of room. Everyone is welcome, and you should be there. If you are thinking about changing jobs, if you are thinking about joining an organization where there's an interview process, I would say be in the room, right? If you're looking to join a board and there is an interview process and you wanted to be a member on that board, then you need to consider this event. Because while you may just be thinking it's just for a job, it's for so many more things, right? Because just the networking piece alone, like I said, your name will be mentioned in rooms that you are not in because of the people you have met and the hands that you've shaken. So, and I know that for myself, that's happened for me, that my name was spoken in rooms that I wasn't in, that I'm qualified. Call her, she can do it, right? So we want the people that attend our event for that to be the case for them, that their names is in rooms that they're not in, and they're saying, call this person, call Mary, call Shanice, call Dannielle, because this is the type of work that they do, right? This is the type of leadership they exude, because I met them at an event, and this is what they told me. They told me these are the people that they're connected with, or these are the things that they've done in the community. So I just want to empower the listener who thinks that this is not for them. It's for you.
And then this is the last question, and we're wrapping it up. What is the dress code? Because somebody asked me what to wear. Do we come in business suits? Can we come in jeans? What to wear?
You want the Southern answer? In business class, you didn't show up in your PE shorts. Right? So I want everyone listening to note that this is you presenting yourself. So however you think that you should present yourself to people in a room that might put your name in a room that you're not in, that's how you should come. Now for me, that's business attire. But for you, that might be something else. So I would say the Southern answer is business attire, because this is that type of event. This is the art, this is the type of people that you're looking for. We're talking about interviewing for a job, getting a higher salary. How better to present yourself than ready for the job?
Right.
Well, we're going to end it on that. Thank you, ladies, for being here today, and I will see you both Saturday. Can't wait.
Thank you.
I'll see you later.
Bye. So thank you to our guests this evening, Dannielle Lewis and Denage Piper. And make sure you stay up with everything with the Metropolitan Baton Rouge chapter. Make sure you visit our website at www.ncbwmetrobr.com. If you want to support any of our programs, you can go to the donation tab and give a donation. We are always looking for sponsors, and we need donations to help these programs run that are free for the community. So we welcome your support. And so if you have any questions about the Pay Equity Summit or the Economic Empowerment Committee, make sure you email sisternomics@ncbwmetrobr.org. And I've been your host this evening, Shanice Lewis. Thank you on behalf of the Metropolitan Baton Rouge chapter and President Courtney Hunt. Thank you for tuning in to Keeping It 100 Coalition's Conversations. And until next time, God bless.